Could you use a quick tip daily? How about a tip that can impact your day? My name is Rafael. Join me as I bring you tips by experts around the world. These experts have shared their knowledge and wisdom with me and will directly share them with you. Make sure to subscribe, like, follow, and comment, and I would love for you to become part of the New Tip Daily community. Dr. Marianne, good morning. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Good morning, Sifu Rafael. Speaking Prowess. I love it. I love starting my day with you.
And it's a great thing when we do, right?
Although I have been on 2 calls already, but that's on account of the UK they're ahead of us. So in the UK, I always have to do morning calls. In Australia, I have to do evening calls.
There you go.
It's all good.
So let's talk about something that I think we're both pretty excited about: spiritual path.
Yes.
And I know you have some incredible tips on even somebody who maybe is an atheist. I know you're smiling.
It's okay. I'm so cool with everyone. Someone was asking me, and they're like, "Oh, because I'm also a reverend. I'm an ordained minister, but it is, and I don't want to call it, because they don't really like us to say non-denominational, because it's through A Course in Miracles, and so it's basically love is my religion. It's not this or that, but I was born into a hardcore Roman Catholic religion. So
you and I both.
Right? I'm Croatian, you're
Colombian,
right? Same, yeah. Super hardcore Catholic, did all the confirmations, first communions, got married. When my parents passed away, it was always a Catholic ceremony, everything, right? So it's all good. I don't have issues with that. It's just I prefer it to be more about love, and let's do the right thing. And if that's spiritual, well then okay, fine, let's call it spiritual. And it's kind of funny that we had to give it a name to do the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, even in the Bible, it's all about love.
Yeah.
If you read between the lines, if you read all over the place, it's about love, right? God loved us, and that's why he sent his son to us, right?
That's right. It's all about love, and it's all about really wonderful things. Oh, look, the sun is coming in and creating my own my own background features.
There you go. See?
I know, and it's kind of funny, because I think one of the biggest things with that whole love thing, it's great and it's easy, and we will all love each other when we're all perfect and when we're all doing the things that that please us, right? But as soon as someone does something, and people go into, when there's something not right, and it's something big. So let's say you're just prepping to file for bankruptcy. Been there, so I can speak on this. It's a tough place to be if you're in the middle of a divorce, if someone has passed away, if there's a huge health issues and they've just been diagnosed with cancer or something. These are all big things that will definitely throw you off your center. You're going to probably lose your center, and you have to go looking for it in all directions.
Right.
And it's tough. And when we go off our center, we tend to get a little cranky, to say the least. Some people get more cranky. And so then they have a tendency to lash out, because this is what's going on inside of their heart, right? So when it's going on inside of their heart, this is what happens. And then you have to love these people through it. And, sometimes it's easier said than done, that's for sure, because people will retaliate. So my theory is always be there for them for a bit, help to support. But if it gets really abusive, right? And it will get abusive with some people, then it might be time to distance yourself for a little bit and just say, hey, you know what? I know you feel bad. I know you're this, but this is not okay with me. This is now too much. And I'm just going to give you some space. And I still love you. We're good. Call me when you feel better. Literally. And I mean, that might throw them off even more, but that's their journey. They have to process that, right? So you don't want to
They
rock.
do. For sure, for sure. So, Dr. Marianne, how do we help someone get on a spiritual path if they feel lost? What are some of the steps that they can start doing?
Well, actually, going back to the Bible, I suggest prayer and read the Bible.
Mm.
Pick it up, read a page, read half a page, read a paragraph. I don't care. Do what you have time for, do what works for you, and do it every day and commit to doing it. And just do it, even if you don't like it, even if you don't agree with it, just do it. Read a sentence.
Mm.
A sentence. You know, when in 2020, when things got really pretty intense psychologically, there was a lot of depression, there was a lot of all kinds of different things. I am a hardcore meditator, so I went online and I thought, okay, what do I do to help people? Like I was just trying to figure out, oh my gosh, which way, what, you know, how can I do meditation? So I went online and I did a live 1 minute meditation, maybe a minute and a half. Sometimes it turned into, and if I got really talkative, it went into 2 minutes, but it's not hard for me to go talkative, but so I did a meditation every single, and not anything, you know, hardcore. It was more with some breathing exercises, because as soon as you take, even if you take a moment, like let's do it right now, close your eyes for a second, take a deep breath in, and then let it out. Do that 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. And 1 more time. Inhale. And open your eyes. I mean, that's not even the slow version. I mean, there's holding breath, there's, you know, a lengthier version. But even if that's all you do, that's already something, right? That's going to calm your parasympathetic nervous system. Hi, Mandy. That's going to calm your nervous system, period. In a flash, and, you know, not completely, you're not going to go from crazy to totally calm, but there, you know, there's, that will certainly help you. Then there's going outside in nature, which is one of my favorite things. I have a dog, so I'm also blessed and pay a lot of taxes to live very literally a minute away from the water. So I do this on my show. Haha, you're funny. I know. I do a lot of things. So
well, I got to tell you that just closing your eyes, and that was not a long time.
No.
It felt good. Anybody out there, just take a second and close your eyes for just, I think the darkness and the focusing on your breath takes all the worry out for a minute even, right? And I think that's an important aspect. That thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm. And I do that a lot, you know, and so I was doing it in 2020. I was probably doing it for about 6 months because I was very diligent, very diligent about doing them. And that after about 6 months, I was like, gosh, I wonder if anyone's even listening. I mean, people would, you know, like it and stuff, but sometimes people don't know to like things and comment. So you don't really know how many people are actually watching.
Right.
And so I was like, gosh, should I even bother? Like, is this just annoying people every day, me going on there and going, everybody take a deep breath in. And, you know, here it is, Meditation Minute with Marianne. And then one day I had just a message out of the blue, and it was from a gentleman. And he said, I want to thank you for doing these. I know you probably are going to think this is unrealistic, but I watch you a lot. And today I was feeling horrifying, and I was literally contemplating suicide.
Oh my.
And I listened to your meditation, and I did the breathing, and I took a minute after, because I think it was one of my longer ones where I said, okay, now go journal or something, you know. And he goes, I did what you said, and I feel better. I don't feel great, but I feel better. And I'm certainly not going to go, you know, move forward with suicide. And I was like, wow. Wow. That's huge. That's powerful, right? And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll keep going.
Yeah. You know, sometimes you never know who you're going to reach ever.
You
Right?
don't know.
Never know.
You
And
don't.
before you told me that you trust me when it comes to fitness, and I appreciate that. And I had done 720 consecutive days of putting a video out there, and people were reaching out, and there was a gentleman in his late 60s, and he said, my wife and I really don't work out,
Yeah.
but your videos have made us start moving.
Mhm.
We can't do what you do,
Mhm.
but we're moving, and thank you so much. But you never know
Mhm.
how that message can touch someone that you never expected. I have teenagers sometimes that reach out to me, and I'm like, a teenager? What's going on? But you never know who's listening.
And you don't know what kind of a lifestyle people lead, and
Right.
the loneliness level. I live alone, but not alone. I actually have a dog. But, in terms of living, I have a bajillion friends, of course, and I'm working all day long on the internet and, doing real estate and doing all these different things. But you never know how lonely people actually are, and you don't know what they're feeling. I live in a building. It's a really cool building. And during 2020, we did, I can't remember what we did. I think we had drums or like whatever you had. And we all went out onto the balcony and we did clapping. And like if you had drums, so like I had a drum and all these
Symbol or something?
yeah, just like we were basically on our balconies creating noise. But it was fun. We actually looked forward to it, and it was starting to get to the point where one of the girls was kind of leading it, and she was on the bottom floor where everyone could see her in the sort of in the courtyard where we have a thing, and yeah, almost like a drumming circle. And one day, I guess she was running a little late, and we're all like going, okay, where is she? Where is she? We're all here on the balcony. It was so much fun. So she was doing that, and I had started a meditation class in our party room, in the building party room. So I've been teaching meditation there for free for a long time. Unfortunately, it's just for our buildings, so they won't let us let other people in. And I wouldn't be able to teach a class and charge money for it because they wouldn't give me the party room for that. It's just a rule in our building, but that's okay. I really don't mind. I mean, I do other things for free too, right? I think you should.
Yes.
You know how they say the 10%, like you should give. You can. It doesn't always have to be money. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. They're doing a test in my building.
Okay, so while that test is happening, and it's important to have a test like that in a building where you have so many people, so people know what has to happen.
Okay, it's over. It's just they do it 4 times, and I just want it. I'm like, oh, great.
And
Right?
Mandy says, emergency.
Over. Okay, we do regular testing once a month, and I forgot that it was scheduled for today. But that's okay. I just mute myself. We did remember when I did my summit?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Dr. Andrea took over for me. So I run a virtual summit every month, and Sifu and Dr. Andrea, who you probably know from his other podcast, they were with me, and the 3 of us, and we had a real fire drill. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to take my dog out. We got to go, because there was an actual smell that day, I think, also. And so I left, and they hosted my virtual summit for me while I was gone for like almost a half an hour.
Well, that's what people do when they care for one another, right?
Right? Like we're family. So
Absolutely.
sorry about that, everyone.
So, Marianne, this spiritual path, once you get on it, it is so enlightening. That's where you start to understand, I believe, your own why, your own guide, right? Would you mind telling us how you're navigating your spiritual path?
Oh my gosh, my spiritual path is all about empowering others, and literally I don't want to put out a number, but billions, I'm hoping. And I'm always trying to do what I can to reach out to as many people as possible, and also gathering people. So that's one of my reasons for doing the virtual summit. I actually offer my summits for free to the public, and they stay up in places like my YouTube and my other VOD channel and my podcast station, so that and my Facebook page as well. And they stay there forever for people to, tune in. I mean, that's like 6 and sometimes 7 hours of learning from amazing entrepreneurs. And I've had so many different comments and people saying, you know what, I love that you offer this for free. There's a lot of people out there that just don't have the money. They want to, but they just don't. So that's kind of another way of me, offering them up for free. It gives a lot of empowerment to a lot of people. Like, you've been a guest numerous times on my summits, and who wouldn't want to hear from Sifu? Like, he has so many nuggets of wisdom, right? And such a blessing. Yes. And I love it when I love seeing all the different views, and when we go live, we stream it live on my Facebook on the day of, and we have one coming up next week on Friday. So please come join us from 9 to, that one probably won't end until about 3 or 4. It's pretty lengthy. So, just come and watch it for free, but then it sits there for a while. And I was looking at the last one, which I think it's only been 3 weeks since the last, not even, maybe 2 weeks. And we have something like almost 700 views. And I'm like, wow, that's great. That's just in the first 2 weeks. And then who knows how many we'll get later. I just put it out and I'm like, whoever needs to hear this will hear it. That's kind of my purpose. And, even, so I'm a doctor of metaphysics. So first of all, my entire life is all about my spiritual journey with the retreats, with the books. So I'm really particular with my books. That's another thing. I take a lot of interesting comments from people is, why don't you do this book? Why don't you do that book? I don't. My books are all self-development. They're all about human development, human growth, the spiritual, the mental, emotional, physical too, but mostly in the spiritual and emotional realm. And so that's, and not to say that I wouldn't publish a fiction book, I would, but the fiction book has to be very positive. I've said several times no to books where there's mafia involved and killing and this. No, I'm just, and they're
that's not your aligning with your goals and your mission.
Right. And why don't you do it? And why wouldn't you take the money? And I said, because it's not about the money, because it's about what I want to put out to people. And this isn't it. I don't watch those kind of shows. Okay, except for The Godfather. I love that movie. But I don't watch those kind of shows. I just don't want that, I think boundaries, and we can call them my spiritual boundaries. I like my energy as clean as humanly possible. And let's face it, there's so much stuff that's not that clean and that we have to be exposed to. But whatever you can control, let's control that, right? That would be a good thing to control. If you're a control freak, stop trying to control other people and control your own boundaries, right?
Agreed 100%, because we need to control ourselves 100% of the time, right?
But
otherwise, other people will take control, right? It's almost like having somebody else is going to be clicking on you and saying, do this now, do that.
Yeah.
And then you have no control of you.
I'm not compatible with a remote control, so it's going to be hard. I've had various men try, and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. That's not going to work. Yeah, go somewhere else. Thank you, though. I appreciate you trying. Thanks for trying. Thanks for coming out to play, but no. Yeah, and you have to stay consistent. We're human beings. We're going to wake up with various thoughts, and maybe that one particular day that aren't going to be the cleanest or the most positive, because maybe you only slept 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever. And then I have to journal. Like, I have to journal because I have to take the pen. I have to take the pen in my hand and I have to write, because that's what's going to make me focus. And I'll tell you something, if you can't think of anything positive, you get a journal and you make it your gratitude journal, and you start writing who and what you're grateful for. And, make a list of 5, make a list of 10. I do this every morning anyways. But if you don't, and it's a rough day, make a list of 100. By the time you get to the 100th thing, you'll be in a whole different state, right?
Absolutely. One of the things that, I'm not saying but you will know once I say it.
I probably know.
I heard that if you don't meditate, you need to meditate at least a minute. If you don't think that you can meditate, then you should meditate 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
If 5 minutes is too long, then you should meditate for 10. If you have no time to meditate, then you should meditate for an hour.
Absolutely.
So now you know.
I actually do know that. And that is very, very true, because the less you think you need to meditate, the more you need to meditate. And I know journaling, and I've had, some of my coaching clients say to me, oh, but journaling, I don't understand. Like, what's the big deal about journaling? But there's a whole neuroscience that's involved with you writing on paper. Meditate Miracle. Yeah, that's cute too. I actually have a book that is called Meditation Minute with Marianne. I don't know where it is. I thought it was here, but I don't see it. So yeah, that's great. And I have, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The other thing that I do is I have a series of books called Self-Empowerment Reset. And then each one has a separate subtitle. And there's 12 of them. So I am about to release book number 6. It should be out by next week, if not sooner. It's just, we just finished editing, thank goodness. And it's all done. So that one will be book number 6. It is called Self-Empowerment Reset, Our Rocky Road to Inner Peace. And guess who's in it? Oops.
Who's in it?
This way. You.
Me? Me?
You and me.
Me?
You and me are in it.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. It's incredible when our stories, our ideas can manifest something bigger than we ever imagined. It's a beautiful thing when we don't hold it in. When we share it with the world. And thank you for all you do. I'm sure that not just that gentleman who decided that life is a beautiful thing, that he should continue being in it, but you may have touched other people that you still may not know.
Oh, the other day I spoke, I think last week at an event, and the event leader just said, she goes, one of the girls was so moved by what you said. She begged me to be able to connect you with her. Can I? Like, she just wouldn't do it without permission. And I said, oh my gosh, absolutely. Absolutely. The more, the merrier. And yeah, you never know who's listening and what they've heard, right? You don't know in which way you're going to touch them. I have some pretty interesting details in my story. And some people just identify with it. I also operate a lot on intuition. When people ask for formulas for business for me, that's really hard for me. I don't really do formulas. I do a lot of intuition. I have over the years have learned to trust my intuition, and that whenever I listen to my intuition, that is when I am the most successful. So that is part of, my favorite subject when I do speaking is always related to self-love on some level. So self-love as a foundation. And so self-love, the more self-love you have, the more it turns into self-trust, which is hugely important, right? And if you want to tune out those people, you need to have your own ideas come through, tune them out, and you'll see the wonderful ideas that come to you, and then just trust it. And you know what? Even if you make a mistake and that just didn't work, that's not really a mistake. I consider, okay, I got the message to go do this. I did it. I obviously learned this, and this doing this. Mm-hmm. So now I won't do that again. I'll do this. Don't
Exactly.
right? Don't let it stop you. Just because you had a divorce and it was one not so great marriage doesn't mean the next relationship won't be wonderful, right? Just because you had one business that didn't do that great, go to the next. Who cares? Yeah. Billionaires out there have probably done several things. And
without a doubt, without a doubt. You know, one of the things that you talk about self-love, but we still are in a world where probably the number is huge where people don't have self-love.
Oh.
And so for those of us who have plenty of self-love, we need to share it with others so that they can start to understand their own worth, their own value. I talk to people all the time, and I've even spoken to a few people who did not, let's say they were not successful at suicide, but they still have this lack of love for themselves. And there was a gentleman who's actually a speaker, and we were about to get on stage together, and he was putting himself down. And I said, you can't do that. Look how much you've accomplished. Look how amazing you are. I said, so stop saying these negative things. And sometimes he would say that I thought he wasn't enough. I'm like, have I ever verbally said those words to you? Have my actions ever told you that? He said, no, actually, you're in my corner all the time.
Yeah.
And I said, so why would you even think that I would even think of a negative thing about you? I said, you need to own who you are. You're a beautiful person.
Yes.
And so even though he's doing great things, he still didn't think of his worth, of his value, of his love that he needs to have for himself. There's so many people out there, and we need to keep giving it to them.
Yeah, we just need to spread as much love as humanly possible and just get out into the public, as much love and as much of that kind of learning and teaching, right? We love teaching. We love, we have a ton of people who love learning. I still love learning. I'm still so I've been a coach for about 40 something years, maybe 40 plus years. I mostly coach women, but I do coach quite a few men. Mostly, I don't know why this is so funny, because I'm not a big sports fan, and maybe this is why they gravitate to me. I had a professional hockey player that played for the LA Kings and I don't know where else, because I can't even remember. And one year the NHL was on strike, and I said to him, I go, oh, I bet you're lucky you don't play for the Maple Leafs, which is the Toronto team, because he's from around here. And he said, I would love to play for the Maple Leafs, that I could be at home and I wouldn't have to travel. And I'm like, but they're on strike right now. And he goes, I was doing reflexology on him at the time. I had a spa, and he pops up, but we did counseling, and he would call me right before a game and stuff. And he goes, you don't really watch hockey, do you? And I go, not that much. And he goes, the entire NHL is on strike. And I said, oh, I didn't realize that. This was my common knowledge, I guess, for Canadians. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's why they come to me. I'm not sure where I was going with that. So anyway, I just wanted to but yeah, so it's it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter, because that's what I was saying with the thing. You got to keep learning. It doesn't matter what it is you think you know. I'm now taking a coaching program with Think and Grow Rich. So when I finish, I'm going to be a coach under the umbrella of Think and Grow Rich, which is, of course, a big dream, because I love Think and Grow Rich. And the CEO of Think and Grow Rich Canada Institute Canada lives like maybe 20 minutes away from me. So every once in a while, we'll all get together for lunch. Oh my God, sorry.
So it's interesting that you're going for more coaching, more understanding, because we both are in bank, right? We're both coaches in bank, and it's about leveling up, not staying the same.
That's right. Always.
Go
Always.
for it. Always leveling up.
Always. Why? Like, if you're not growing, you're going backwards. And the only thing I want to do backwards is I want to age backwards. I
That's a
don't
good.
want to go backwards.
Well, there is a formula, by the way, to age backwards.
Hmm.
You ready for it?
Okay.
Movement.
Yes, I agree. I think movement is absolutely important. I think stretching is important, meditation, really good supplements. I'm going to take a shameless plug over here. We
Go
just got
for
a
it.
brand new product. This is my stem cell regenerator product, and it
Mm,
comes like this in a lozenge, and it's a telomere extender. So for those of you who don't know what telomeres are, they are kind of like, when you have plastic things at the edge of your shoelaces, this is like
mhm.
nerve ending at the edge of your nerve. And so as we get older, they get shorter and shorter. And so people who have Alzheimer's and dementia, they have like very short telomeres. So this will actually extend them.
Mm.
So it's not just preventing age, because it will do that if you're young and you start taking them. But if you're already older and you want to take them, it will actually go backwards, literally. So
Love it. Love it.
I had to.
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. And anybody who wants to connect with Marianne, her Facebook is going across, and that's where you can see her summits. You can connect with her. And guess what? If you have a book that you have to get out published, she's your publisher. Here's the other cool thing. Marianne and I are going to incredible podcast. Anybody, an author, reach out to us. And I'm putting it across the screen. My YouTube channel, which is Sifu Rafael TV, and we will put the shows there as well. This show will be living there, so make sure to connect with me, connect with Marianne. We have incredible things. If you're an author, reach out. You want to be on our show. But your show is going to be not
Sifu,
only worldwide, but tell us how else it's going to be seen, Marianne.
Sifu, you actually froze when you were talking about that, and
Ooh,
I knew what you were going to say. So do you want to just repeat one more time what you were saying?
sure. If I froze, was it like this? I'm just kidding.
Yes.
So we are launching a podcast together in January, and it's called the Spark Books podcast, and it's for authors only. And it's where we help you get your book out into the public, into places that you would never imagine. My shows go to 185 countries and growing. And Marianne is also not only an incredible human being, but guess what? We're partnering up in this whole venture. And we're going to bring you as an author, and we're going to highlight everything about your book or books. And Marianne, how else are they going to be able to reach audiences?
Oh gosh, it's going to be so amazing. I'm going to put it up onto my podcast station where I have 6 million plus viewers. So this is
Mm,
where my summits go, my podcasts. I have two of my own, one that I'm just starting on real estate, and one that I've had for about, gosh, I think it's been 4 years almost. Meditation Millionaire. It'll be real estate ins and outs, and Spark Book. I think you already mentioned that, hopefully, because he did freeze a little bit again, and I'm going, oh no, he's saying the name of it. So I'm super excited about it. So yes, I will publish your books, and we will make it into an international bestseller. And I have every single book I've ever published and done has always been an international bestseller. So
there you go. There
just
you
do it.
go. We have great things coming. Come and join us, people. I got to tell you, I'm excited.
So
I'm excited to have you on the show today. And obviously, you've been on other shows. Marianne, you, my friend, are an incredible human being. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me. You're like my brother from another mother, for sure.
it.
We are way past friendship.
You definitely are. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Mandy, always great to have you with us. Have a blessed day, everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.